So we got to go to the Pete Buttigieg thing next. We got to go there. Because he has been trending for the past night. So this article came out in the Root. And by the way, I got this from Buck over on Twitter. Buck, thank you for that. And it's pretty interesting. All right. Pete Buttigieg is a lying MF. That's the headline. That's the headline. All right. So let's dive in. Pete Buttigieg is a lying MF. All right. Presidential Pete. So this guy goes, he tells a story about how he's a lucky guy. I'm a lucky motherfucker. He says, presidential candidate Pete Buttigieg is a lucky MFer too. He attended one of the best private schools in the country that was quite literally on the campus of one of the best colleges in the country, University of Notre Dame. His father was a professor there for 29 years. I almost said 99 years. It's a hell of a run. I bet you get full tenure at 99 years. His mother taught at an even better, more elite school. And if you ask how he got into Harvard or became a Rhodes Scholar, Mayor Pete would probably insist that it had nothing to do with his whiteness. But he didn't have to jump a ditch. So when a clip surfaced of Buttigieg, I got to do it once, explaining why Negro kids fail at school so often, his answer made perfect sense. Kids need to see evidence. So here's what he said. Kids need to see evidence that education is going to work for them. Buttigieg explained whitely. This is the article, by the way, when he was running for mayor in 2011. You're motivated because you believe at the end of your education there's a reward, there's a stable life, there's a job, and there are a lot of kids, especially in the lower income minority neighborhoods, who literally just haven't seen it work. There isn't someone who they know personally who testifies to the value of education. In other words, what Pete Buttigieg said is all these young black kids see all these unemployed black people in their minority black neighborhoods, and they're like, well, I guess I'm not going to do anything. That's why Pete Buttigieg thinks there's an inequality in education. Pete Buttigieg thinks it's because these black adults, they're all just unemployed walking around some minority neighborhood. And these kids see that and they think, well, I guess I'm not going to go to college. That's what Pete Buttigieg thinks the problem is. So the article goes on to say, I want to be clear, Pete Buttigieg is a lying MFer. This is not a misunderstanding. This is not a misstatement. Pete Buttigieg went to the best educational institutions America has to offer, and he, more than anyone else on the goddamn planet, knows that everything he's just said is a bald-faced lie. So here's some statistics that maybe speak to the inequality in education a little more than Pete Buttigieg's theory that all black adults are just unemployed and black kids see that and think, meh. Getting back to the article here, majority minority schools receive $23 billion less in funding than majority white schools, according to a recent study by EdBuild. Black students in Indiana, the state where Buttigieg serves as mayor, and across the country are disciplined more harshly than white students. But even though Buttigieg has never attended a school with more than 10% black students, he thinks he knows what's stopping black kids from achieving their educational dreams. Apparently, it's not the fact that the unemployment rate for black college graduates is twice as high as the unemployment rate for white grads. Black college graduates are paid 80 cents for every dollar a white person with the same education earns. White people leave college with lower debt and higher earnings. White kids get more resources, more advanced classes, and have access to more technology. But Pete says it could all be solved with a vision board. Mayor Pete's bullshittery is not just wrong. It is proof. It proves men like him are willing to perpetuate the fantastic narrative of Negro neighborhoods needing more role models and briefcase carriers that make the people in power stare into the sun and see the blinding light of racism. Get along moderates would rather make shit up out of the whole cloth than wade into the waters of reality. Pete Buttigieg, oh, I love this sentence. These two sentences, rather. This sums up everything about Pete Buttigieg and why he is doing something he has no business doing in running for president. Pete Buttigieg doesn't want to change anything. He just wants to be something. God, I am going to repeat that. Pete Buttigieg doesn't want to change anything. He just wants to be something. Drop the frickin' microphone, Michael Harriot. Well done, sir. Wow. Yes. In fact, I'm going to tweet that right now. Yeah. If you want to show that some love on Twitter, I'd appreciate it. But I just quoted that on Twitter. Man, that is beautiful. That is poetry, is what that is. All right. So well done. Well done, Michael Harriot. Although I got to say, I do think there is a chance that Pete Buttigieg is that clueless. I mean, I think it's a little bit of both. It is the fact that he doesn't want to change anything. He's just a go along moderate, as this article points out. This article that was beautifully written. But I also think there's a chance that Pete Buttigieg is that disconnected from regular people that he truly does believe that. Academia can provide a hell of an ivory tower. And there is a ton of subtle racism in academia. And it's one of the more disgusting things within that institution. And this is coming from someone who was in academia for a while and couldn't do it anymore and decided to leave. You know, I finished my master's, and originally I thought I was going to go on for my PhD. I didn't. And oh, thank God I didn't. Yeah. I mean, first of all, the job market's terrible, but also, like, I got a few peeks under the hood that made me realize it wasn't for me. One of them was I helped organize this conference, and it was one of the worst experiences of my life, organizing this academic conference. And it made me realize that the department I was in, what they really wanted was minions. Anyway, I'm not going to get off on a tangent. My point is, it can provide a hell of an ivory tower where you're really disconnected from the regular world and regular people. And Pete Buttigieg, that's his world in many ways. So I think there's a chance that there's also part of him that genuinely believes that nonsense, because he's just so disconnected. You'd like to think some of his other experiences would have primed him, but I have my doubts. But what an article. I'm glad this article went viral. Please share it. It is from The Root. And again, that title, it's a pretty obvious title. Of course, it'll be in the clip as well. But again, Pete Buttigieg is a lying MF. Easy title to remember. Important when you want an article to go viral. Man. And I'll end on that quote one more time because it's worth repeating. Pete Buttigieg doesn't want to change anything. He just wants to be something. Well said, Michael Harriot.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your news